A scooter!
So EUCs, or electric unicycles, are the bread and butter here at eRiders, but occasionally we like to go outside the lines a little bit and look for other personal electric vehicles, or PEVs, that might complement our existing riders or even new riders and bring them into this really cool eco-mobility scene. Now, the team here at eRiders has looked at and tried a whole heap of other electric scooters over the past 1 to 2 years, and we think we've finally found the perfect commuter scooter, and it's made by a brand we already know and trust, InMotion. So let me introduce you to the new kid on the block, the InMotion Air Pro. Now, this is a really cool, I'm going to say just a little bit above entry-level commuter scooter. It has some really interesting specs and it's built really tough. Now, the first spec I want to talk about, and probably the one that most people are interested in, is speed and range. The Air Pro has a top speed of 35 kilometers per hour. You can put it into speed mode 1 and that'll max out at 25, which is some cities' legal limit. But if you are on private property, you can put it into speed mode 2 or sports mode, and you can go up to 35 kilometers per hour. It has a really good sized battery, 438 watt hours, which will take you up to around about 45 kilometers in range. Of course, that's dependent on your ride style, weight, and even the temperature when you're riding. If it's a lot colder, you will get less range. Now, a couple of the really cool features with the Air Pro that we were really impressed with. It is a cable-free design. So when you look at the scooter, there are no external cables visible anywhere except for down by the drum brake. It's a really beautiful, simplistic scooter to look at, but when you ride it, it just feels really solid. And that's one of the areas, or one of the points we marked down a lot of the other scooters that we tested before we settled on the Air Pro. Some of the other scooters that are in the same price range, when you ride, just feel loose or rattly. This feels really solid and well planted. The next feature that we were all really impressed with were the tires. Now, they're 10-inch tires. The front one is a pneumatic. The rear one on the back is a solid state rubber. Now, the reason they've done that is apparently, and I'm not sure where these figures come from, but 80% of scooter flats is the rear tire. And that's where the motor is, which makes it a little bit more complicated to change. Now, let's talk about safety. And when you talk about scooters and safety, you always talk about the brakes. This has a dual braking system. What's really smart about it is when you engage the brakes, it will always engage the rear brake first and then the front one. It's a really clever way to just make you securely and safely come to a stop. If you jam those brakes on, it will stop you very quickly, but you will not skid and go out of control. Now, as far as the livability scale, or how easy is it to live with this scooter, well, we found it really, really simple. It has a really simple fold system. It's one click and it folds down and locks into that rear fender. The scooter only weighs 17.3 kilos, so it's not hard at all to lift out and put in the boot, so you can drive to the city, find a free spot, grab your scooter out and ride into work or ride into the park, whatever you need to do. It's really simple to live with. It comes with a 2 amp charger, so it will fully charge the scooter from dead flat to full in around about 4 hours. And it has some really nice safety features like front headlight, rear tail light, and a reactive brake light. So when you do put the brakes on, the rear tail light flashes to alert people behind you that you're coming to a stop. And of course, the most important thing, the motor. Well, I've already mentioned it. It's in the rear. It's 400 watts, but it peaks out at 750, and that's why it gets those higher speeds than most of the other entry to mid-tier scooters in the same price point. That's why it can get up to 35 kilometers per hour and has quite a fair bit more torque than those entry-level scooters as well, which is especially important when you want to climb some hills. But of course, with all the specs put aside, the most important thing we feel is rideability, and that's where the Air Pro really does succeed. It's really nice to ride. It's got a nice, comfortable 17 centimeter wide foot plate. It's rubber gripped, so it's really grippy on those shoes. Even if it does get a little bit wet, your feet are still going to grip to that foot plate. And it's just a nice scooter to cruise on. It's whisper quiet, being a hub motor. It's not in your face. It's very small. It's easy to walk into places or chain up outside a cafe if you want to stop for a coffee. It's just a really simple, easy, fun to ride electric scooter. So who is this scooter for? Well, we think it will suit almost anybody. You may be new to the community and you want to get your first scooter. You might have an old scooter sitting at home which is looking a bit sad and tired. this would be a really nice step up and just bring that joy back to your life. It can also be a great gift if you already have an EUC or electric skateboard or electric bike, and you might have a friend or a relative, wife, husband, kids, they don't feel like jumping on an electric unicycle just yet. This is a great way to keep the family together and all cruise along at 20-25 kilometers per hour. So I hope you really liked this first look at the Air Pro. If you've got any questions or comments, put them down below. It's on sale right now. We have them in stock. You can see we've got the boxes here. We've had our first shipment. They're available to ship out the same day if you order before 2 p.m. If you've got any suggestions for other products you'd like us to take a look at, make sure you let us know. We're always available for walk-ins in the shop. If you are in Queensland, come in anytime between 10 and 4. There's always someone here that'll be happy to take you for a test ride, let you try out an electric scooter, electric unicycle, electric bikes, which will be coming very, very soon. Until then, guys, don't forget, ride safe, wear a helmet, and we'll see you on the next video.